Hi guys and welcome to my review of Boku no Hero Academia 126. And this chapter was really interesting and also really funny. Let's just start with all the obvious stuff because we get more information about the internship, and basically you find out that the teachers were more or less split between wanting the first years, or at least at this stage, to get these internships because some were against it because they felt like they weren't ready after the experience they had with Mirio and the other two people. And some were like, well, it's not like the hero course is free of dangers anyway, so why would we not let these why would we not let them into these internships? It's not like it's in the kind of the job requirement or the school description that it'll be dangerous to be here anyway, and we kind of need them to do this because of how the hero world is changing. So it ends up being like, okay, you can do these internships, but you will only allow you to do internships with heroes who have a good reputation when it comes to these internships. So I'm guessing that someone like Endeavor won't be allowed to have an intern because I feel like that's just not gonna work. He probably just that's no. But it doesn't really matter because who would want to be Endeavor's intern? The only one who would like to do that would be Todoroki, and he can't do that because he doesn't have his professional license yet, which kind of leads me to Bakugo, because him and Bakugo have their extra courses in to like prepare to take that extra exam. Which again, Bakugo is slightly pissed about all the internship stuff because he can't go and he missed a lot of stuff, which I mean, it doesn't really matter too much because again, he's not allowed to take the exam or the internship, but he's probably a little pissed that he didn't get to fight against Mirio. But generally there were some funny moments. I'm not gonna get into that because Mineta, what the heck, just too much information. But Midoriya, Deku. Deku brings up with All Might that he would like to meet his former sidekick, what was his name? Nighteye. And All Might is basically like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And All Might is basically like, yeah, so first of all, I was against the internships, and second of all, I think you should just like improve your shoot style, which we find out were just bullshit excuses because it turns out it's just kind of awkward between him and Nighteye, and I swear to god, I love the translation choices that the manga stream crew used, because they used we broke up, so it's kind of awkward, and the only thing I could think of was like, okay, so All Might and Nighteye, they were dating, and they broke up, and now All Might has adopted Deku, but he feels like it's a bit awkward if Deku were to meet his ex-boyfriend. I thought that was so funny. I like almost choked on my food while I read this. It was so funny. And also just in general, every time All Might had like a point he made, like, I was against these internships, you just have two teachers in the background being like, yeah, well, but you could also look at this side and you could look at this side of the case, and they're just like having the discussion in the background, which gives a really nice insight into what the different teachers had as opinions and of why they either voted for or against these internship, or just how they view Deku because of the shoot style and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really good and funny way to do it, because you just have All Might in the foreground being like, yo, okay, so I think this is what you should do, and this is why you shouldn't meet Nighteye, and you just have these casual teachers in their hero gear behind him just being like, yeah, well, but all of these things and blah blah blah. I don't know, I just thought it was really funny how they composed that, those scenes. All Might kind of ends up compromising because he's like, okay, so if you really want to meet him, I'll just, Mirio is actually under him at the moment, so why don't you let him introduce you? And it's just really funny. But I think it's really interesting, the two things from that conversation which were like most important, I feel like, were when Mirio asked Deku what kind of hero he wanted to become, and Deku's just like, I want to be the best hero. Which is like, Mirio's like, okay, that's kind of all over the place, but let's just go with that for now, because you can't just, that's not really a style of hero. Like, you're not, okay, so I want to rescue people, or I want to fight villains, which would probably be Kachan's choice of words or something. Like, it's just, I want to be the best hero. Which is like, yeah, okay, right. Nice, Deku, that's the best way to put it, but okay, fair enough. Fair enough, you want to be a good hero, that's okay. But we also get like All Might's views on Mirio, because he's of course aware that had he not met Deku, Mirio would have been his successor, because as the principal puts it, it's not like he's super strong, it's not like he has the best grades of all times, it's just that even though there's like laughter around him, he always has that smile on his face, which is just, I fell in love with Mirio right then and there, because we know how much he struggled to perfect his quirk and how much it took for him to become like this strong, and for him to just always have been smiling and just I really like that, because he would actually have been a pretty good successor. Like, he would have been perfect for All Might's quirk and just the kind of hero that All Might has always been, because he always smiles and reassures people. Like, just his smile is enough to reassure people that everything's gonna be okay. And Mirio is like that same kind of character. No matter what he faces, he's just always smiling. And Deku's still kind of always like getting there. That sometimes Deku has to remind himself that, okay, I need to smile, I need to reassure the people around me that everything's gonna be okay. It's been a while since Deku has done that, but he has definitely done that, like reminded him of what kind of hero he wants to be. So I thought that was really interesting that Mirio was like, had Deku say out loud, okay, I want to be this kind of hero, even though his answer was really vague and all over the place. But eventually he lets him meet Nighteye, which is just really, it's funny, because again, two things from this part of this chapter. The first one being that Mirio is like, or Deku asks him, okay, so why are you helping me? Like, why would you help me? And Mirio's like, well, I'm aiming to be a hero, and heroes are all about helping people, so if this can help you, then I'm doing my job as a hero. And I just fell in love with him right then and there. That was just like the best answer. It's like, he gets nothing out of this, he just helps people. That's, oh my god, this boy. I feel like there's something to him that has to be not perfect, because so far he's literally perfect. Like, what the heck? Just, yes. And the other thing is that apparently, despite Nighteye being this strict and intimidating guy who just looks like he has everything under control and just, you know, that kind of dude, like the kind of guy he looks like, he really values humor, and apparently you won't get on his good side, and he probably won't get this internship if he can't make him laugh. And the first thing I thought of when this happened was just like, this is literally like Black Butler. Like, if you read, or I believe this is in the anime as well, where Undertaker will literally only help Ciel and Sebastian if they make him laugh. And I thought that was so funny, because that's always been one of my favorite gags from Black Butler. Please don't judge me for reading that series. But yeah, I thought that was really funny, because he just didn't look the type at all. But I should have known that you can't trust looks in this series, or in any series for that matter. Maybe with the exception of One Piece, because Oda has his nice art choices, but I mean, that was just really funny. And the way Deku decided to do it was just hilarious, because of the face he puts on, and Night-Eye's first instinct is just to be like, are you insulting All Might? Which is so funny when it's directed towards Deku, who's just the biggest All Might fan on the planet, and he's just like, are you insulting him? Oh my, I thought that was ridiculous and so funny, like, holy crap. But I'm really interested in seeing more of this Nighteye character, because he just seems so all over the place. Like, he has a tickle machine. Who has a tickle machine? Oh, and he's still like, because him and All Might broke it off, but it seems that Night Vision still admires All Might a lot. Like, are you insulting him? He's watching his videos all the time, as Mirio said, and it seemed like, who wouldn't like All Might? It's All Might. I love All Might. I love all the characters in the show. It's, yeah. But I'm really interested in seeing what broke them off and what Night Vision is kind of like, what kind of character he is, and just, yeah, it's gonna be really awesome. Also, I hope we focus a little bit on some of the other characters. I would like to see where Ida and Uraraka went. Maybe some of Kirishima and Kaminari and Jiro and Momo, stuff like that. Because it seems like they won't all start at the same time, and yeah, it'll be all over the place probably. I hope we also get to see a little bit of Bakugo and Todoroki, because I feel like the adventures of Bakugo and Todoroki would just be the funniest thing to follow. I believe there are 11 or so more people to take the courses that they're taking. Like there's oh my god, I forgot his name. Wind Guy, who'll be taking the course with them, and then a few others. I believe there were only 80 something who passed, 83 or 87 who passed, which means there are either 13 or 17 other people who have to retake the exam. So I really hope we follow them, because again, the adventures of Bakugo and Todoroki would just be hilarious, because they it's not that they don't get along, but they definitely don't get along. And just before I end this off, if you watched any of the other videos I've uploaded so far, you'll know that next week I won't be home, so you have to leave in the comments below if you want a postponed video of Boku no Hero Academia, which means that you'll have a review in the weekend at some point, or if you'd rather want me to just do one review of 2 chapters in 2 weeks when chapter 128 comes out. Because yeah, as I said, I won't be home. But that'll be your decision, so if you like anything that I had to say, you can leave a thumbs up on the video, leave in the comments below what you thought of the chapter, and if you want to see more, you can subscribe, and until next time, bye!